If you're running a business in the UK, you're going to want to listen up. The next few minutes could save you a ton of hassle. We are breaking down the critical tax and employment changes for 2026 that you really need to get on top of, like right now. So let's get into it.
Okay, let's just dive right in. We're going to start with the stuff that's going to hit your finances and your team directly. These are the details you'll want burned into your brain as we head into the new financial year. First up, the big one, tax. From April 2026, a whole new wave of changes is coming into play. And trust me, if you're a company director or you're self-employed, there are some really important updates here. The first major change is a direct hit on how you pay yourself through dividends. Look at this. The rates are jumping by 2 percentage points across the board. So, if you're a company director, that classic salary and dividend split, well, it's about to become a whole lot less tax efficient. It's a pretty clear signal that it might be time to rethink your whole payment strategy. And now this next point is what you might call a stealth tax. It's really sneaky. So while dividend rates are going up, the government is also freezing the tax-free allowances all the way until 2030. This creates something called fiscal drag. Basically, as your income or your employees' wages go up, even if it's just to keep pace with inflation, more and more of that money gets pushed into higher tax brackets. It's a tax hike that happens without any of the rates on the tin actually changing. And for anyone out there who's even thinking about selling their business or maybe restructuring, this is a big one. The capital gains tax rate for two really key reliefs is jumping from 14% all the way up to 18%. Getting the timing right on any potential sale just became absolutely critical. And just quickly, 2 more tax changes to flag for you. First, there are some small increases to voluntary national insurance contributions, but the bigger one, especially if you're a family business, is this new £2.5 million cap on inheritance tax relief. Now, this could have a huge impact on your long-term succession plans, so it is definitely one to chat through with your accountant. But it's not all just about tax, right? The government is also overhauling employment rights. And there are some pretty significant new rules for your team that are also kicking in from April 2026. So this is a pretty major expansion of worker protections. The key changes, they're getting rid of the earnings threshold for statutory sick pay, which means more of your staff are going to be eligible right from day one. Family leave rights are also getting stronger, and there's a new Fair Work agency being set up to enforce all these rules. For you, the bottom line is this: updating your contracts and employee handbooks is going to be essential. So those are the nitty-gritty changes hitting your wallet and your team. But now let's kind of zoom out and look at the bigger economic picture that all of this is happening in because, context is everything. First, the latest data shows the UK's unemployment rate is ticking up, hitting 5.2% at the end of last year. Now, that's actually the highest it's been in almost 5 years, which is a pretty significant trend to keep an eye on. And at the same time, wage growth is slowing down to its weakest pace in nearly 4 years. So when you put those two things together, rising unemployment and slow in wage growth, it's a really strong signal that the super tight labor market we've seen lately is finally, maybe, starting to cool off. But there is a counterpoint. Inflation has actually eased a bit, dropping to 3% in January. Now, this doesn't mean prices are falling, let's be clear, just that they're rising more slowly. But this drop could signal some relief from those spiraling costs, and it might just influence the Bank of England to think about cutting interest rates. Okay, so with all this mixed economic data, a cooling labor market, but easing inflation, how can you possibly stay on top of your business's health? Let's zoom back in on a really powerful strategic tool that can help you cut through all that uncertainty. A top think tank, the Institute for Fiscal Studies, they recently criticized the government for using these oversimplified metrics. And their argument is that one single pass or fail number just doesn't capture the whole story. And the best part is, their proposed solution is something you can use directly in your own business. So their solution is a traffic light dashboard. And you can apply this concept directly to your own business. Instead of just looking at profit, you track a few key metrics. Are your debt levels green? Is your sales pipeline looking a bit amber? This simple system gives you this powerful, at-a-glance view of your business's health, and it helps you spot trouble long before it actually hits your bank account. And finally, let's talk about protecting your assets in this new environment. Because alongside all the tax and economic shifts, the digital threat landscape is also changing, and it's a risk that no business can afford to ignore. This statistic is just staggering. Nearly half of all UK businesses, 43%, were hit by a cyber attack in the last 12 months. And here's the crucial insight. Most of these are not sophisticated, targeted attacks.
They're just automated bots rattling every digital doorknob they can find, just looking for one that's been left unlocked.
The good news is you can lock that door pretty effectively. The government's Cyber Essentials campaign focuses on these 5 basic hygiene steps. We're talking things like keeping software updated and controlling who has access to what. Seriously, getting these 5 things right can prevent the vast majority of common attacks. It's that simple.
So that's our briefing. We've covered the shifts in tax, new rules for your team, the economic headwinds, and that rising cyber threat. And all of that leaves you with one crucial question to think about as you plan for the year ahead. What is your next move?